Athens, Atlanta United has won the last three in regulation, shooting up in the top four on the East. While Orlando continues to find a way to gather points with three straight matches ending in a shootout, including the last two, which were multi-goal comebacks. As Atlanta United 2 and Orlando City B take the pitch at Turner Sports Complex in Athens, Georgia. Hello, welcome, I'm Ryan Lee. Thank you for joining us. These are two teams who have had quite turnarounds from a year ago. For Atlanta, it's about finding a way to get into the top 8. But for Orlando, they want to continue to gather points, get back in the playoffs after missing last year. For Atlanta, they're going to stick with a lot of the same pieces that they had that gave them success against Carolina Core in that 2-1 win last time out. Only making one change in the game between last week in Carolina and today. We take a look at our starting 11s, and the front 10 are all the exact same. Dunbar is coming off of a brace against Carolina, while Kovacs is the lone forward in the 4-2-3-1 for Jose Silva. He has 4 goal contributions in the last 3 matches. Expect the same back four for Jose Silva, and expect Chongqui to make his way up into the attack. Hibbert is down for the first team. He starts in between the pipes for his second game with the second team, and he only has a handful across the entirety of 2026. Orlando, on the other end, myriad of changes considering the string of ties that they've had in the regular season. For Eddie Wilding and Orlando City B, they are making 4 changes from their last match against Crown Legacy. You have 2 first-teamers making their way down, with Tahir, Reed Brown, and Colin Gusky making their way down from the first team, centering the back line. Aruna is the first-round draft pick. He centers the 5 midfielders set in Eddie Wilding's 4-2-3-1. 2 goalkeepers are dressed, neither with any pro prior experience. Today, it is the 18-year-old academy product, Luka Maxim, who starts in between the pipes. Come to Turner Soccer Complex in Athens, Georgia, the home of the Georgia Bulldogs, a place where Atlanta United have turned into their new home after only temporarily playing games here a year ago. And in their new home, they have been able to find some early success. 2 games deep in their home state, a pair of wins, marking their first 2 regular season wins of 2026. Back on March the 8th, it was a 2-1 win against Carolina Core, followed immediately back-to-back by a 4-1 win against Huntsville City. So far, a combined 6-2 goal differential at Turner Soccer Complex. They want to keep that ball rolling, especially for a team that is riding the hot hand right now. Back-to-back losses against Crown Legacy to end March and begin April on back-to-back weeks. But since then, 3 consecutive wins, 3 commanding wins, all of them by a combined goal differential of 7-1 across their last 3 road matches between Miami, Chicago, and Carolina. They come back home for the first time since March 15th. After spending all of April on the road, they look to get back into home form and maintain their spot within the top 4 of the Eastern Conference. As for Orlando City B, they sit at 500 in their opening 8 matches, 2-2-4, currently good for 7th place prior to the weekend beginning. However, it's been a bit of a different tale on how they've been able to accumulate those points. It's been a string of a loss followed by a trio of results. They open up the season with a loss followed by a trio of wins, 2 in regulation, 1 in penalties. They lost again to Chattanooga to begin April, but since then, 3 straight games with points, 2 PK wins, 1 PK loss, which includes 2 straight games with multi-goal comebacks which forced penalties, both against Crown Legacy last time out where they got a singular point, and against Chicago the time before that. But still a nice little run for Orlando City B. 5 points in the last 3 matches. Most certainly promise for a squad that look to continue to elevate their game. And considering the overall organizational overhauls of both of these teams within the last 6 months, it most certainly can provide a refresh going into the next pro season to bring the new regime on a positive note, not just on the MLS side, but on the next pro side as well. For Atlanta, this is their only home game in a string of 8. They just came off of 5 consecutive on the road. They have a home game here before they go another 2 games on the road to Huntsville and to Philly. for Orlando City B. This is their first of 2 matches on the road. They go here. Next week, it's New England. And coming back home to Kissimmee, where they will have 2 straight at home, where they host Miami and Carolina Core. Eddie Wildin and Martin Perelman taking over the reins for Orlando City, both taking over mid-season since starting off the year with the Oscar Pereja regime. Jose Silva promoted to the head coach after taking over as interim towards the tail end of 2025. Atlanta will be in the black. They'll operate right to left. For Orlando City B, yellow and purple, left to right, they will go as we get ready for the opening whistle on the campus of the University of Georgia in Athens at Turner Soccer Complex. Atlanta will start with the opening possession. It'll be Dylan Judelson at the center line. Our head referee is Nicholas Strednak in the green, and that's where we start off here in Athens. Deep ball from Judelson into the hill as we get started here at Turner Soccer Complex. Noah Kenyawani, Tyler Bose, MG Tahini are our officiating crew as Orlando City B, 3 straight with points for Atlanta, 3 straight regulation wins. Jaden Hibbert is back in between the posts for Atlanta United, having last played in Next Pro all the way back in the first home game of the year against Carolina Core on March the 8th. That was a 2-1 win where Jaden Hibbert only had 1 goal allowed in that 2-1 victory favoring Atlanta. And since hasn't really had a lot of action with the first team either, Hibbert. But it cycles around the other way for the debutant, Luca Maxim, from the academy. 18 years old, making his first appearance in Next Pro. 2 goalies in the mix for Eddie Wilding, neither of whom have any Next Pro experience, with him and Melo Murillo on the bench. Turnover, top of the box, Kovac got a touch. Not much further, kept in play. Torres lets it fall as he's got Cisse alongside. You've got Cisse near side. He crisscrosses. Enzo Dovolo, middle of the area. Kovac tangled up, stolen away. Ignacio Gomez able to hustle back. Haruna starts the attack for Orlando, splits it out. Sarajan gets across, and that is wide of the net. But it looks like Hibbert got a piece. This was a nice play. Harvey Sarajan on the wide angle got on the outside of Chica and forced Hibbert to make the save. And this will draw the first corner of the match for Orlando. They've got Gustavo Caraballo making the way towards the near flag, already career highs offensively in goals and goal contributions. Caraballo, top of the 6, headed away. Momensa keeps it deep for Orlando. Comes back towards Momensa. Floating near side, returned, Caraballo. Cuts it, top of the area, wants to hold on. Slams the brakes, outside, centering feed, it's a bubble. Couldn't get through, as you had a couple of nice attempts with Gusky in the middle. And it falls again for Orlando. Back line changed for OCB to hear Reed Brown, the 19-year-old from the first team, and the other 19-year-old from the first team, Colin Gusky, center the line. As Leao looks for an outlet. Rhine settling it, Carballo. Dunbar in front. Coming up an excellent offensive performance. He makes a nice defensive move to prevent further progress from Orlando, but they'll reclaim on a throw. Both coaches very much in a cat and mouse game, each of them acknowledging that they're going to have to try to take the ball away from the other if they want to maximize their opportunities. Ignacio Suarez off the turnover at center. Retreats as Chica has support from Sananu and Cisse, and they'll play it all the way back towards Jaden Hibbert. 2 appearances with the first team for Hibbert, both of them in the U.S. Open Cup, and the 1 game in Next Pro, as Maxim will collect before Kovac can. Orlando holding in deep. Sarajan, Chica draped all over. And support comes. Way to jar it loose, Dovolo. However, just like that, gracious bounce returns to Orlando. For Gusky and Reed Brown, these are their OCB debuts, each of them with appearances with the first team. As Chica holds it back. Hibbert has to be careful. The first goal allowed at home came on an own goal as Dunbar hits the deck. Too much contact on Mumensa. You had a bit of a scary moment there with Jaden Hibbert straddling the goal line. A misplay with the ball defensively was how Atlanta, allowed the first home goal of the season against Carolina Core. A missed back pass by Matt Sananu was wide of Jaden Hibbert, and that rolled into the back of the net for the first, not just the first goal of Carolina Core season, but the first goal that Atlanta allowed at home. And Hibbert was maybe 6 inches from repeating a similar fate. Dominic Chongqui steps up, skies it across, and Bernardo Rhine on the receiving end. Bobble back and forth. Gill getting in there. Chica. Simply a speed hump as Leao keeps possession for Orlando. Torres chasing his man. Chongqui steps up. Orlando, deep ball, got a foot race. Chica with Sarajan into the area. Sarajan hits the deck. And it looks like it'll be a yellow card and a penalty for Orlando. Foot race, you had Chica and Sarajan, a little bit of scrapping at the edge of the area. But it's Daniel Chica who got a little bit too physical. And Orlando City were the ones that were buzzing. Orlando was buzzing early. They had opportunities. They got that corner early. And now, less than 10 minutes in, they'll get a PK. It'll be Gustavo Caraballo. Already a career high, 3 goals. He hits him with a 4. A new career high for Gustavo Caraballo, the 17-year-old with 4 in 2026. The deception for Caraballo, the Pananka. Chip it up the gut. Hibbert with the dive. And that's how Orlando gets their first goal of the match. Orlando City, they have not got on the front foot many times at all throughout the season. Only having scored the first goal in 2 of their 8 games this year. In those 2 games, a win and a draw. Dovolo scrapping, crossing, couldn't connect with Dunbar. Follow-up, Chong Kui to Dunbar. They connected for a goal in the game versus Carolina as Dunbar wiggles past in the corner. Wanted the nutmeg on Amu Mensah, but he is able to recover. Not quite. Bouncing ball. Chong Kui pokes in. And eventually Caraballo with efforts on both ends of the pitch. Full steam ahead. We'll see it again. Sarajan with Chika. Sarajan drives the box. Chika backs off. And it's going to go off a defender seemingly for a corner. And you see how maybe the influence of that first penalty changed the way that Chika defensively played that. Not too scrappy this time, but it will result in another Orlando corner. They've got 2 already. Corner number 2. Gusky to the middle. Not there. Held in by Haruna. Still Haruna. Pokes it. Gomez. Had a barrage of black in the way. Cleared up towards Kovac. Nice move to free it up, but Dovolo couldn't get there. And Orlando, almost a chance to get a breakaway was Haruna, but Jaden Hibbert up to the task. The last time Hibbert saw the goal was the U.S. Open Cup round of 16. A 2-0 win for the Five Stripes against Charlotte in North Carolina. Only 1 game in Next Pro and 2 in the Open Cup for Hibbert across the entire season. Deep ball. Maxim backs up. Kovac is free. Kovac! Low save by Maxim. Dovolo couldn't get there. Chika again with Sarajan. Reaching back, Rhine. Easy pickpocket. Torres up the gut. Kovac splits it. Dovolo, wide angle, blocked, out of play. This should be a corner. This was Kovac on a breakaway. A bit of a misplay by Colin Gusky, and Maxim had to be quick on that, and they say it did not go off of defender. It just went wide, unimpeded off of Dovolo's. This is back to Orlando on the goal kick. But you had the contest there with Reed Brown and Gusky both pursuing Dovolo, but to no avail. Jose Silva talking about matching the intensity of the Carolina game. How Carolina were hot off the jump and they wanted to equal that the entire way through. Even though the game ended 2-0, they had 3 goals that were called back at some point during the game. 2 of them were offsides, 1 on a foul. Wanted Kovac up the gut. Dunbar couldn't get the bounce. Caraballo draped by Chong Kui, and that's where things will hit a pause. Eddie Wilding came in a month in the year from the academy program after Orlando City cleaned house after Oscar Pareja and his staff mutually parted ways in the tail end of March. But for Wilding, he said that it was a really easy transition for him to get into the role because so many of these guys he has seen within the academy program within the last 3 years. Considering that he joined the academy program since 2023, so he has seen all of these prospects come up within the U15s all the way to the U18s before making their way into the second team. And he also said that, especially in the most recent performances, the stats and the final scoreline were not necessarily reminiscent of their overall performance. They just had trouble finishing. Fumble, Dovolo looks to capitalize, slanting across, lost his footing. This portion of the broadcast is presented by Emory Healthcare. Foot race again, and no surprise, it's Sarajan and Chika. Only one credited shot by Atlanta in the first quarter of an hour. 2 attempts on target for OCB, including the opening goal on the PK. Gustavo Caraballo getting the goal. Already a career high with 3 goals. And we're only 8 games into the year. Now 9 if you include today. The goal contribution in 6 of 9 games for Caraballo. Falls back on Mumensa. Has Haruna going back towards Gusky. You have Maxim way out of the box. Chongqui cuts it down and retreats to Cisse and Sananu. Torres lost it. Amumensa lost it to Chongqui. Chongqui always in the mix of a play. Got the nutmeg on Cisse, and this has a lane for Caraballo, but couldn't get around as Sananu got in the way. The number 6 overall pick in 2025, Matt Sananu, making a nice defensive play in the center back spot, and his Atlanta side are back in possession once again. Chica, far sideline, deep ball, foot race, Ignacio Suarez. Dragged down by Reed Brown. It doesn't matter, it's Atlanta ball either way. But way to hustle back to here, Reed Brown. 7 appearances in the regular season in MLS play. Yet to find any action in Next Pro, but what a way to make your Next Pro introduction. Got the slide. Nothing really illegal there, but Atlanta will gladly take a toss. in the area. Sananu header, couldn't get the second touch, was Chongqui, and Caraballo will snuff out whatever opportunity Atlanta had in the last sequence. Barney's self-inflicted mishaps. Luka Maxim gives it away. Haruna was eyed by Torres, who lives out to Amumensa. Orlando City B in 7th place in the Eastern Conference going into the weekend, trying to redeem an 11th place finish in 2025 where they went 9-13-6. The first time they missed the playoffs since the inaugural MLS Next Pro season back in 2022. In the 2 years prior in 23-24, they were top 5 in the Eastern Conference. Amumensa drives forward. Torres back. Carballo, the goal scorer on the PK. 20 minutes in, and it's easily snagged by Hibbert. Both Coach Silva and Coach Wilding talking about how they really see the other team as a big threat when they have possession and what they can do from it. And both coaches echo the same sentiment, how they really want to create all sorts of pressure up and down the pitch, how they want to close those gaps as quickly as possible and get the ball back for themselves because of how much the other team can threaten in possession. Suarez centers, Dunbar bodied away from the ball. Diagonally, Chongqui wants to give Dunbar a chance to pursue. And Gusky hits the deck. Sarajan. Another battle with Chica. This time Chica won it. It was Sarajan and Chica scrapping in the opening 10 minutes that forced a tumble from Sarajan that opened up the game in PKs. Kovac might have a breakaway ahead of the line, but a mistouch. Unable to control. Kovac aggressive, but too aggressive on Reed Brown. Between this game and the last, you could technically qualify that as 4 goals disallowed between fouls and offsides. They had 2 goals that were called back for offside against Carolina and 1 that was waved off because of a foul in the box on a corner. As we are entering halfway of the first half. Coming back on the assistants, Adrian Gill, one of the defensive midfielders on this 4-2-3-1-4. Jose Silva, 20 years of age, got his first assist of the year against Carolina. Dovolo gets around, too far, out of play. This portion of the match is presented by Gallagher. Jump ball with Chika and Saracen again. Tumbled right at the center line, and this should be a yellow card, and it will be. It is Leao who gets booked.
A yellow card has been assessed for Orlando City B's number 90, Pedro Leao.
Gill got a touch, even though it was well out of play. Well, I might have actually drawn the overall conclusion from Nicholas Strednak is the fact that it was well out of play when that slide happened. Jardelson strips it away on the toss. And Orlando will play keep away. Haruna looking to pursue. Arif Kovac, the one forward in the 4-2-3-1 for Jose Silva. A lot of confidence in the young 19-year-old from St. Louis. Jose Silva most certainly has. As a strip is made by Cisse up top. Cisse sends it across. Dunbar got a touch but wide. Dunbar fresh off a brace looking for 3 and 2, but was well wide of the target. Not something you see very much from Mo Cisse. He got up in the grill of Amu Mensah, got it away, and both Cisse and Dunbar knew they had a golden opportunity. You know it was a good one. You have the collective hands on head. And Gill just ate that one. Couldn't tell if that was the torso or the head, but he absolutely took it. Let's just take a look here. Center line, cleared up. Oh, that hit him in the side of the face. Looked like Haruna was looking for Saracen on the opposite end. Nothing you can do about it. Completely inadvertent. High cross, not high enough. But good for Gill. He took 2 stumbles in about a 3-minute stretch. And he's gotten back up like a champ both times between the yellow card on Leao and that last cross attempt that he took right to the dome. Offside was Kovac. Atlanta United 2 have won 3 straight in regulation. Orlando City B, they have points in their last 3, all from PKs, as Sananu just drills his man. That's Gusky. Gusky's going to take a lot of these offensive liberties. He already has. He was one of the 2 setup men on the corners earlier in the match. And you got to appreciate the aggressiveness from the first teamer. 6 matches with the first team for Orlando City, but has been absent from the last 3. And Coach Wilding said that he expected some potential shakeups because of the match they had yesterday afternoon against Montreal in Quebec. A lot of eventful sports happening up in Quebec right now. CF Montreal well in the mix of their season. Montreal Canadiens and Buffalo Sabres in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That series is tied at 1. And because of their representatives making their way up north of the border, perhaps some difficulty in terms of personnel. But Coach Wilding expected that. For Coach Silva, a little more of those creative liberties with the roster. Atlanta were at home, but they did lose to LA Galaxy. That was a 2-1 final in MLS play. Dunbar didn't get it. Gill helps out. You had Dunbar scrappy, and this will benefit Atlanta. It's Dylan Judelson called against the foul. Widen for Dovolo. Retreat to center with Chica. A chance from wide angle, but what a save by Maxim. It'll be Atlanta's first corner of the match. The header just falls graciously, and the left-footed strike had to force the outstretched hands of Maxim. And this will be Atlanta's first corner of the match. Cameron Dunbar, the one to serve. Only 2 attempts in the game so far for Atlanta. Dunbar way back. Chica in the mix, but a nice reach from Luka Maxim. This portion of the broadcast is brought to you by the Renegade Lemonade. Ignacio Gomez starts the attack for Orlando. You gotta respect the 18-year-old Luka Maxim for the effort he's had in his first ever pro start. Chipped to the center, Sonanu in the way. Got there before Bernardo Ryan could step into it. Ignacio Gomez had Suarez in front. Dunbar with the assistance of Torres get it back for Atlanta. No foul, play on. Dovolo had it disrupted by Ryan and just barely kept in play. And a nice play by Bernardo Ryan to keep it for Orlando and potentially restart another sequence. Bernardo Ryan made his MLS debut only about 3 weeks ago, April 22nd, in a match against Charlotte. And just recently got his second goal contribution, even further surpassing a career high 2 assists against Crown Legacy only about 2 weeks later. Here's a chance. Haruna alone near side. Cisse looks to close it off. Haruna. Around it comes, up the middle. Unable to link up with Caraballo, and a chance for Orlando. For Atlanta, full steam ahead. Dovolo connects to Suarez. Around Reed Brown. Dovolo chips it. Torres waits, takes off a block, out of play. Amu Mensah got in the way. Corner number 2 for Atlanta. What a block by Parker Amu Mensah to get all the way back. To just get in the way of the try. Aiden Torres still looking for his first goal in MLS Next Pro for the 2024 MLS Next All-Star in his 4th season with the Black and Red. Dunbar again for the second time. 10 minutes to go in the half. Low driver, can't link up to Sananu. Dunbar has it, wide side, centering, it's loose, blocked away at the top of the box. Looks like Maxim got there before anyone in black could. And a misplay by Gusky will give it back to Atlanta. What a punch out by Maxim. You had at least 2 jerseys inside of the penalty dot and in. And Atlanta will take the toss from here. Chongqui and Sananu attempted the bicycle unsuccessfully. One 1-0 for Orlando. City B against Atlanta United 2. Ball rolls its way for Sarajan, leading the way. And it is offside. Haruna wanted it, didn't get it. It was offside. Issa Haruna, the number 20 overall draft pick in this last year's draft. Almost a chance for a second goal, but was just a little bit in front of Mo Cisse. So that's at least one goal on both sides called back to offsides. There's one from Marif Kovac and one just now from Issa Haruna. OCB back in business. Judelson. Sarajan. Chongqui had to head it. Open space. Haruna and Torres gather. Kovac bodied off. Gusky and Amu Mensah take it back to Orlando. 39 minutes into this Mother's Day matchup in Athens, Georgia, between Atlanta United 2 and Orlando City B. And another foul. Well, looks like Atlanta will get the advantage. Haruna back on his feet. We are back in play. Dovolo. Taken by Ryan. Judelson. Pinging around. Atlanta can't collect. Dunbar had a man all over him. That was Leao and taken back by Haruna. Sarajan leading for Gomez. Pardon, this is Leao. Gomez was taking the middle. Leao along the end line and will deliberately bank it off a Dovolo for an Orlando corner. Corner number 3. They had one on the near side, this is the second one on the far end, and both of them have been taken by the captain, Colin Gusky. But Nicholas Stretnak wants a conversation with some of the physicality in the area. Shock are there, Harvey Sarajan, Daniel Chica. They've seen each other a lot today, and I don't expect that to change. Gusky, low arc. And the whistle is against Orlando. Atlanta have had a lot more of the attempts so far, but they still have yet to beat Luka Maxim in his next pro debut. Only goal came from Gustavo Carballo on a PK. Carballo does get it back at the center circle. Gomez. And Orlando will retreat. Chongqui disrupts the pass, and Gomez touches it out of play. You have Dunbar and Alumensa. It'll remain with Orlando. Chongqui ready to chuck it deep. Top of the 6, Kovac couldn't get a touch. Dovolo races with Ryan. It'll be Dovolo. Chica and Cisse look to open up the gaps. Aside from the one PK from this game, it's been pretty even, all things considered. Adrian Gill looks to push past Reed Brown, bodied off by Reed Brown. Goal kick, Maxim. Some nice physicality here by Reed Brown, just using a little more of that frame. You can very clearly tell he had a frame advantage on Gill and used it to his advantage. Back and forth. Gill disrupts. Kovac can't escape the leap of Reed Brown. Just ping-ponging back and forth in possession. No one can claim it cleanly.
The fourth official has indicated there will be an additional 2 minutes added to the first half.
2 extra minutes in the opening half. Atlanta down by 1 from a PK goal from Caraballo. Sinanu steps up, out of range of Dunbar. Gusky. Pedro Leal. Haven't heard very much of him yet, the Brazilian, in his first year with Orlando from CR Flamengo, their U20 squad, as that will be another free kick drawn by Gusky. We're through the first minute. Orlando might just be content taking this lead to the locker room. What a strip! Sarajan alone! Sarajan off the post! Sarajan had Hibbert beat one-on-one, but echoes the iron instead. A dislodge from Chica. Sarajan wins that battle, and he's got everyone beat. Even Hibbert couldn't react to it in time. And after an exciting finish to stoppage time, that's how we wrap up the first half. 1-0 at the end of 45. Gustavo Caraballo on a PK is the lone goal we have in this one in Turner. Coming up at halftime, get to know a talented young player carving on his path in the Big Apple, and an announcement that can shift the landscape of Next Pro. Highlights and stats coming up after this.
fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Welcome back to Athens. Orlando lead Atlanta 1-0. There's no success stories in MLS coming out of New York. Another young player makes his way with NYCFC. So let's take a deeper look at one of the young rising stars, Arnau Farnos.
I think for sure was my mom. She was the first one to know it because she was working, and I sent her a message and I was like, please don't call because we have a meeting right now. But like I have to tell you, like they just told me like they want me to sign first team deal. So she was like, oh my god. Yeah, it was definitely my mom. Hi, I'm Arnau Farnos, and I'm a midfielder / winger, and I play for New York City FC. When I signed here with the second team, my goal was always to be part of the first team, and since the moment I got drafted, that was my goal, that was my dream. And nothing is easy, you know, so that's why you have to work for it. Every call-up is an opportunity. And I'm thankful for the coaches to give me those opportunities. But like it's not about the games, it's about every day, how you practice, how you prepare yourself, physically and mentally. And when the opportunity comes, that you have to be ready and know that if you have the opportunity, you have to prove yourself. They push you a lot, which is a really good sign. But they also have a really good connection with the team, special connection with the players also. And they are open, which is also important for a player because it gets you confident when you play and when you train. And he was always super close, coach and all the staff, and give me a lot of confidence to me. And that's why I feel like I'm super happy for being part of this team, for the confidence from the staff and also from the players. One of the things, for example, Nico always says when he's here is like, and I've took it from all the players as well, but like you are doing what you like and what's your passion. So coming here to practice, you are privileged, you know, having this job because you are doing something that you really like and you really can, you grow with it. And coming here every day, yeah, there is people working for you, for the treatment, they are cooking for you, and how many people would love to have and to be in the position that you are right now. So I would say just enjoy the moment, push yourself in the moments that you have to push yourself, and yeah, enjoy. Super excited at the moment when I saw the ball going in. I kind of didn't believe it at the beginning, but after it was like a happiness feeling, you know, especially after with all my teammates, like they congratulated me at the end of the game, and everybody came to support me and saying congratulations, and it was a really happy moment and a special moment in my career. I think I had a lot of good coaches in my career. I would say probably when I was at Celta, I would say Claudio. But I would say my best moment playing soccer was the decision to make here and go to college. The 4 years at Oregon State with all the coaches I had and all the staff I had, they really helped me develop myself physically and mentally. And I think it was the step that I needed in order to be a professional soccer player. So I'm super grateful for the opportunity that the Oregon State gave me. Keep supporting us, keeping showing ourselves, keep coming to our games, because probably right now we are not having the best, we are not in the best moment of the season, but we're for sure gonna come back, and we're for sure gonna give some happy news soon to the fans.
Boys hear sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still Can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next. Just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now.
Very excited to be here officially. I helped out a little bit last year. I really enjoyed my time working with the players, working with the staff. So I'm glad to be able to be on staff full time and be involved. Towards the end of my career, I started thinking about what I wanted to do. Post playing, and coaching was something that for a while I didn't know if I wanted to do it. When my kids started to get a little bit older and I started doing it with them, I started enjoying it, and I thought I had a lot of knowledge that I could pass down to young players. That was kind of an easy decision after thinking about it. There's lots of different things that I can teach them from my career, but also, the mentality, the intensity, the winning mentality is what I want to bring to the young guys, because they're going to need that. I played at a high-level college, and I was still a little bit overwhelmed when I first got here, and it's the adaptation. If you don't do it quick at that time, then you were kind of out of the system. But now I think, especially with the academy and bringing those guys up, and then moving into a environment like MLS Next Pro with North Texas, then I think it's a big jump in the quality of everything that is involved with this, and I think it's huge for developing players. I think there used to be a lot of guys who kind of got pushed out of the system if it wasn't working right away, but now those guys maybe get a second chance and can develop into good players. Yeah, it feels good. It feels like home. Like you said, I've been here for a long time. I know a lot of people here. I knew John beforehand. I knew a lot of the other staff beforehand, and even some of the players I still know. So it's just nice to be back in a familiar environment and be able to give these players my knowledge. This year, I think my goal is to improve our defensive solidarity. Obviously, I want to try to improve individually the players in the defensive line, help them improve their tendencies. But as a unit, I want our group to be solid and to give up less goals. That's always the goal. And for me, that was my big thing as a player throughout my career. I always wanted to give up less goals, and I think that's something I want to pass on to these defensive players.
MLS has agreed to a deal that will see global investment firm KKR make a strategic investment and partner with MLS Next Pro. KKR will inject capital into MLS Next Pro with an eye on growing the league and its footprint around the continent. Its conjunction with MLS, the partnership will oversee commercial strategy as it looks to move the 27 MLS affiliated Next Pro teams into new markets, with an eye on building brands within those communities and seeking stadium development deals. We will no doubt see and hear more about this in the coming seasons. We took a quick look around the entirety of MLS and Next Pro, but before we get back to the game, let's take a look at how we got to this point in 45 minutes of play between Atlanta and Orlando. But before we focus on this game, we take a look around the entire league. A couple of games were played on Saturday. You had that 4-game slate there. A couple of games on Friday also. Inter Miami still very much on the struggle bus on towards one of the bottom ranks in the league. Chicago Fire and Crown Legacy, they've had some respective issues after having some games dropped to them, including dropping a point against Orlando last time out. San Jose Earthquakes looking like a juggernaut in the Western Conference right now. And North Texas, the Western Conference champs from just a few years ago, seemingly very close to getting back into business and form that they have been looking for. And a very rare in Huntsville, after a relatively sluggish start to the season, they've seemed to have gotten back into form. But Inter Miami, you can never count them out in what they can do, but they are still looking for that first win in regulation. But going ahead in a very busy midweek slate, 5 games on the docket. Philly Union 2 look to right the ship after dropping a couple of points across their last several games. New England Revolution won earlier today. In the Eastern Conference side of things, FC Cincinnati hasn't quite been the best run for them, but they do play against the Huntsville City side that are looking to continuously stay on the front foot. And Carolina Core, one of two teams in the Eastern Conference yet to have a regulation win. They will be hosting their next game. That was a look around the league. Let's take a quick zoom in on just how things have gone here in Turner through 45 minutes. This was one of the first plays of the game. You had Harvey Sarajan and Daniel Chica. They've been battling all game long. That was the first save of the game. First shot on target for Orlando, pushed away by Jaden Hibbert. And then this was the penalty and the respective foul against Sarajan and Chica, which allows Caraballo to step up, and he gets the chip over a diving Jaden Hibbert for the first and only goal this game, only extending a career-high 4 goals in 2026. But Atlanta, they would not take those opportunities very gently, as it was over the head of Gusky. Kovac went low, as did Luka Maxim, to force away what could have been a potential equalizer. A great play by Mosi Say to push all the way up the field, dislodge Dunbar in the middle, but at the end of the day, it went wide. Within the closing couple of minutes, Sonanu would start to play again, and a gracious bounce allowed the ball to fall into the feet of Ignacio Suarez, but a fantastic save by Luka Maxim to keep things at 1-0. And this was with minutes remaining. A goal was technically scored, but for Isa Haruna, he was offside. We saw at least one goal called back for offside, but Sarajan wasn't done feasting, except he was unable to capitalize. Had chances, just couldn't bury, and that's where we sit 45 minutes in. Halftime remains in Athens. Second half kickoff when we come back.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
The unique energy of a Sunday night. Ideal for calm music, whispers, stargazing, reflection, and a relaxed environment. Sunday nights were made for this.
We return to the campus of the University of Georgia, where Atlanta United 2 are looking to stay perfect at home, while Orlando City B are looking for their first regulation win since the second week of March. Only wins have been in PKs for OCB. We will flip ends of the field. It was Gustavo Carballo who opened up the scoring 9 minutes in. Daniel Chica and Harvey Sarajian have been battling back and forth. One of those battles, Sarajian won it. Chica took him down inside of the penalty area, and that allowed Gustavo Carballo to take the chip up the gut for the 1-0 lead. And that's where we sit 45 minutes in. Atlanta will be in the black. They'll operate in the second half, left to right, right to left. In the yellow and purple will be Orlando City B. As we await the opening whistle from Nicholas Strednak, our head official. As we're back in business for the second half of play. Or we might need to redo that one. Okay, we'll reset and redo that one. False alarm. This one's for real. Ryan Lee and our entire MLS Next Pro crew here at Turner Soccer Complex in a Mother's Day matchup between Atlanta United 2 and Orlando City B. Orlando City started off the season at 500 to 2-4. Atlanta United 2 so far this year, 5-2-1, top 4 in the Eastern Conference. No matter how this game ends up, I'm sure all the mothers will be proud of their boys. From the academy to the pros, they're there every step of the way. I'm sure no matter how things end up, they'll do their mothers proud. A quick shout out to all the mothers out there on Mother's Day, including our lead producer, pressing the keys, Kara Rodriguez. And we also saw in that halftime feature with Arnau Farnos the impact he had as well. Bouncing ball. Went around Dovolo. And Orlando escaped with possession. Haruna. And Orlando tries to go deep. Sarajian has to cut back. Probably for the best. That allows his team to come up and help out. Reed Brown and Gusky, the first teamers, helping to center the defensive line for Orlando. And the MLS Next Pro debut, the 18-year-old Academy product, Luka Maxim in goal. On the other end, Jaden Hibbert, the first teamer, only 3 total matches in 2026. 2 in the Open Cup with the first team, 1 with the second team back in match week 2. And took a ricochet, so it's back to Orlando. Sarajian with Leao. Gomez back towards Ryan. And Dovolo retreats back to his own half. Nothing more could come. Caraballo in the area, already on a goal, but he lost control, too hot to handle. Caraballo has been able to have his way with his Atlanta defense at times. However, he hasn't really been able to bury. Orlando City A team that can score a lot of goals, but they do have a negative goal differential because of how many times they've allowed goals. Granted, 4 draws doesn't help them either. Dovolo wanted to lead it for Kovac, but too far. It's also nice to see a little reunion out here on the pitch with Enzo Dovolo, number 12 overall draft pick in this last year's draft, with his teammate Isa Haruna of Orlando, the number 20 pick in this last year's draft. Both of them with UNC Greensboro, where they spent 2024 together. Dovolo, 3-time All-SoCon. Haruna, 2-time All-SoCon. Cisse forces the flag upward. Trying to really reactivate Cameron Dunbar, who has been pretty quiet in this game, all things considered. He had that one shot attempt midway through the first half. That ricochet off the feed from Cisse that did go wide, and only the one attempt, none on target for Dunbar so far after 3 goals in the last 2 games. And if you extend that to the game prior, it's actually goals in 3 straight. 1 against Miami, 1 against Chicago, and 2 against Carolina Core. Maxim, Kovac pressures. And the advantage for Maxim is he could dive on it with his hands. Chica chases back. Sarajan sprints down. At least forcing the issue from Atlanta. Eddie Wilding talked about how some of the deficiencies in this club have just been some of the, what he called, naive goals that his team have conceded, especially with the overall complexity of the game and the system that Orlando's trying to employ, with the overall youth and inexperience of these teams. And oppositions have taken advantage. However, Atlanta have yet to do that yet. Down 1-0. Caraballo the lone goal on a penalty. Orlando when they score first, 1 win, 1 draw. Chong Kui battling through, but a nice jar free. Right to Dovolo. Dovolo, right for the try, is too high. This is a nice chance for Enzo Dovolo. Hasn't had a goal since midway through March. Wanted the try there. And 22-year-old has been forcing the issue quite a bit, but to no success yet. Ignacio Suarez leads it. Dovolo beats out Rhine. Dovolo in play. Couldn't get it for Kovac. Nice defensive read by Reed Brown. Orlando back on. Pedro Leao. The 19-year-old Brazilian lays it back. He's got help from another 19-year-old, Colin Gusky. And coughed up out of play. A calm 75-degree day here in Athens. No precipitation, negligible wind. Most likely, if there was wind, all the trees in the background would have broken, pretty much all of it. But also, if you lose a ball there, then you're probably looking in a forest. What a ball. Leading. Dovolo cuts it across. Still has it. Laterally. Kovac fires. Blocked. Second try. Torres fans it. Chongqui centers. Couldn't reach Suarez. Caraballo collects it after the drop. Around Cisse, not around Chongqui. Dunbar turns, fires, missed. Another missed opportunity from Cameron Dunbar. He's had the eyes for goal. He's been on a heater as of late, but just couldn't get it through. Two golden opportunities in the high part of the box, neither of them converted. As Cisse gets it free, but only back towards Amu Mensah. 10 minutes into the first half, still 1-0. Caraballo, the PK goal in the 9th minute. Orlando have not won a game since March 14th in Carolina against the Core at Truist Point. Caraballo with Chongqui staring him down. Coach Wilding really crediting his team's ability to take the initiative on plays and create the plays themselves. The aggressiveness of this team has been a big strength for OCB. They've been looking for more from the defensive side, but they've held up so far 55 minutes in. Adrian Gill takes over at center. What a lane. Dovolo, but just too far ahead. Too far ahead for Dovolo. Had a golden opportunity. Here come Orlando the other direction. Sarajan. What a play. Haruna in front of Cisse. Assistance from Caraballo. Off of Dunbar, and Atlanta takes over. Ryan outside. And that's out of range for Amu Mensah. Dunbar looks to control the pace. Suarez with Dovolo. Dovolo waits. As Atlanta, they want to try to take the ball away from Orlando. But a lot of their attacks so far have been quick. Maybe seeing some of the opportunities and the aggression defensively. Dovolo. Gill. Had an assist last time against Carolina. Feeds it. Dunbar, top of the area. Dancing through. Suarez elevates. Can't beat his man. Gill back to the middle. Dovolo swarmed. Dovolo continues to hustle. Staying in the fight. Wins it back. Chongqui. Back post, Suarez gets it down, still loose, scramble in the area, no one can get it. Stolen away by Ignacio Gomez from Ignacio Suarez. And Sunanu disrupts the play before Leao could do much more damage. Chongqui far side. Kovac would have been offside. Arif Kovac. Really much of a watch and learn type of a year. Really big for development, just understanding the game through the sidelines. But the way that he's taken his training opportunities, the commitment to double sessions have helped a guy like Kovac. And we'll see the first substitution of the game. Moises Tablante will be the replacement for Ignacio Suarez. And at the hour, we have the first change of the game.
56, Ignacio Suarez Curi.
Moises Tablante closing in on 100 matches in MLS Next Pro. He's 2 away from that mark if you include today. Has played in 7 of the 8 games so far this year. All of them have been off the bench after being pretty much one of the #1 starters in the midfield unit last year. Chongqui looking for help. Tablante gets away from it, leading the way. Kovac, what a save by Maxim. And that's forced to an Atlanta throw. The aggression by Luka Maxim outside of the area keeps Atlanta off the board. Near side it comes, Siraj in, gives it a go, and it's stopped by Hibbert.
Corner kick, Orlando City B.
This is a great opportunity for Harvey Sirajin. He has been a heater, is saying is a severe understatement. He has a goal contribution in all 6 matches that he's played so far. Hasn't gotten one yet today, but he does contribute in giving his team a corner. It is the 4th corner of the match, first of the half for either side. 62 minutes in. Skied it away. This portion of the broadcast is sponsored by Emory Healthcare. Chucked in, headed away immediately. And another attempt for Sirajin goes wide. Atlanta seemingly picking up the pace as we're under a half an hour with a 1-goal deficit. Collected by Dovolo, working around Rhine. Edge of the box, curls it. Disrupted by Amu Mensah. Gill settles it down. Couldn't connect with Dunbar. Might have glanced off of Gomez. Chica disrupts. Dovolo swirls around. Looking for a lane. Tablante. Took a nick off Gomez. Sarajan gets around one man, slithering through another. Sarajan back heels, opens up. Pedro Leao. He waits, and he was just off the target. Sarajan. Slants it outside. Sarajan again. He's been all over the field today. So as Adrian Gill hustling back to break up the pass. Dovolo outraces Rhine. He could have taken it himself up the gut, but instead across for Tablante. Tablante from deep and just missed.
Goal kick Orlando City B.
Tablante fresh off of the bench only about 5 or 6 minutes ago. Hasn't yet had any goal contributions today. And already reversing is Leao. Chica backpedals. Leao to center. Gomez. Haruna. Sarajan again. Outside, centering. Got a ricochet and not there. Judelson settles down. Dovolo all over on Sarajan. And Ryan and OCB will settle things down. Dunbar aggressive in the mix. He and Reed Brown tangled up. It goes out of play. They want to know who the throw-in goes to. All signals point it's Orlando's. First of back-to-back on the road for Orlando. They go to New England next week. For Atlanta, this is their only home game in an 8-game stretch. They hit the road. Huntsville and Philly on the docket. Sarajan beats out Chica, but Chica gets back and Hibbert will cover. Adrian Gill across center. Dunbar for Dovolo. He's been operating on this near side, just hasn't capitalized yet. Dovolo across, and that missed everyone. Still only the one goal from Gustavo Caraballo on the PK. The third-year man, who is a part of the Venezuela U17 roster. He played in the U17 World Cup in November. Looking to get back to the ranks of the first team after spending 9 games here, 7 of those being starts. Sarajan taken down by Chica. Chica already on a yellow, and that's the second. Chica's done. Chica, this is his second red card in 4 weeks. Gill coughed it up. The great effort by Ignacio Gomez, and the slide on Daniel Chica. He gets his second yellow. That is a red. '69th minute. He got a red card against Inter Miami at the beginning of April. He served red card suspension a couple weeks back against Chicago about 3 weeks ago. That is the second yellow card for Daniel Chica in the span of a month. A month exactly. That Miami game was on April 10th. Plenty of pro experience for Daniel Chica. But the second time he's gotten sent off this season. And it looks like we'll be having a trio of changes being made by Atlanta. We've got Amir Henry, Patrick Weah's in. So you've got Henry in, Weah in, and even a trio changes for Orlando.
Number 67, Enzo Dovio, number 39.
So along the sideline, you've got Arshans, you got Belladere. And perhaps the send-off forced the hand of Jose Silva. Weah is in for Dovolo. Henry is in for Torres. 71st minute changes by Jose Silva, only about a minute plus after the send-off. And also Arif Kovac gets replaced by Liam Butts. So we play the final 20 minutes. 21 officially, 11v10. Liam Butts, formerly a Penn State Nittany Lion. Previously spent time with Atlanta's academy, sent across. You have Henry just short of Rhine. And that gets clipped off of Henry. Taken back by Matt Sinanu. Up the gut he goes. Liam Butts. Dunbar attempts to keep it in play. He will for now. Henry. Dunbar inside the area, leads it. Butts couldn't get around. Dusky with a block. And another corner for Atlanta. This is their first corner of the second half. Gallagher, Dunbar led the way for Liam Butts, but couldn't get the twirl around the defender. It was Gusky who got the block as the corner is headed away by Orlando. And we will watch it drop for back-to-back corners. This time, high ball, headed down, off the line, and caught. Luka Maxim. Final 15 in regulation. This was a great try, trying to use the frame of your guys like Weah and Butts. All 6'2", 180 of Liam Butts. Sarajan leads it. Haruna, no flag up. He rolls it, and it's in. That's goals and back-to-back for Issa Haruna. And Orlando capitalized a man up to double their lead. This is a great run. You have the man down. Cisse could only watch. Hibbert tries to make a move, but Haruna slides it in, bottom right. And Issa Haruna has been looking for a lot of those opportunities for the Ghanaian. 3 goal contributions in the last 2 games for the midfielder. 75th minute goal, and Orlando's up by 2. And now we have the triple sub made by Orlando. So we just saw a triple sub from Atlanta after the send-off. Sarajan goes to the bench. He most certainly has done his job in the game. Probably, and then some. Reed Brown heads to the bench also. Clovis Arshans is the replacement. And then you have Gusky replaced as well. Titus Sandy takes his place. This portion of the match is sponsored by Gallagher. Chongqui chases it down back to Hibbert. You have that double change in the back line with Titus Sandy and Clovis Arshans. And it falls right back for Gomez. And couldn't reach it was Belgadere. So you most likely have maybe a managing of minutes with the 2 first-teamers in Gusky and Reed Brown. In for Sarajan, he's been putting a lot of the load on himself. Time to relax it for Belgadere. Edge of the area. Holds back to Ryan. Officially, you have the Haruna goal with assists from Sarajan and Ryan. And a takedown in the area will take things likely from bad to worse for Atlanta's sake. And that's despite Atlanta outchancing Orlando. However, not as efficiently. 11 shots attempted to 5. And we have another sub coming up.
Entering the game, number 78, Andrew Jardine.
This is Andrew Jardines as Dunbar will make his exit. I'm not exactly sure, but Dunbar has done the best he can, just simply to no avail. Free kick attempted, well high. Atlanta have outchanced Orlando 11-5 so far in this game, but Orlando have maximized by getting them on target 4-3. And we might be having another sub. This time it's Orlando's. Yearwood is in for Amu Mensah. Jalen Yearwood, the number 14 overall draft pick this last year's draft from UNF, North Florida, the Ospreys, where he was a ASUN Defensive Player of the Year. Belgadier holds on. Henry was in front. Weah reverses. Patrick Weah splitting the D. Taken down for a foul. Patrick Weah trying to use some of the speed and the size to his advantage. Headed, loose, and that is away from Jardines. So Dylan Judelson needs a minute as he goes off with trainers. But there are still subs to be had if you're Orlando, which could be the time for Eddie Wilding to pull the trigger on a substitution, perhaps. He just had 3. Atlanta pressuring. And that's away from Amir Henry. It's coughed up by Haruna. Atlanta take it back. Final 7 minutes between Atlanta and Orlando. Only 2 losses in regulation for Atlanta as they're offside. That was in a back-to-back on the road against Crown Legacy, who were the top dog in the Eastern Conference at the time. For Orlando City B, midway through March in Carolina, a 3-2 win against the Core. The Core side that are still looking for their first regulation win. As we enter the final 5 minutes of regulation, tossed back in by Orlando. Orlando had 13 points on their 2-2-4 record heading into the evening. And with 3 points, they could have a chance to tie Atlanta inside of the top 4. But I guess then it'd be a top 5 as Maxim forced to make a dive again. Sananu attempted to head it to a teammate. It does eventually make its way there. And Hibbert forced back. It's been really solid, all things considered, but his side are still down, and being short a defender most certainly does not help. Tablante, cut down. Caraballo got in there. And no card, just simply a warning. It looks like we might have another sub coming. That is the 16-year-old Jacob Ramirez entering the game. He's only played in 2 games in Next Pro, and both of those were last year. Gill will take the free kick. In the mix, loose and off the bar! Looks like they didn't completely cross the goal line as Weah lost control. Atlanta wants a whistle. They're not getting it. Sananu regains control. Gill. Into the area. Rebound by Gill. Gets blocked. Belgadier walks away. Weah pressures. Back for Belgadier. That just pummels the body of Ignacio Gomez. Looks like he took that one in the midsection. And Gomez goes down again. Seems like in the last 5 minutes or so, we've turned into a bit of a whistle fest. So it's Jacob Ramirez, he's in for the goal scorer, Haruna. As it's collected far side by Caraballo. Near side it goes. Belvedere crisscrossing. Centers. Deflected, and that was off a defender. Ramirez couldn't believe it as he just came off of the bench. Sprinting ahead, Tablante wanted to lead Butts, not there. This was the centering feed, and you had that one bobbling all over the place between Chonghui and Ramirez, but doesn't follow through. Slowly trickles to the corner as we're in the final minute of 90. So at the minimum, for the first time in 3 weeks, Orlando would not be forced to make a comeback to recoup their points. They have a 2-goal comeback against Crown Legacy where they were down 2-0 and ended the game tied at 2. Same went with Chicago. And against Carolina Coors, a little more even in that match. Tablante not in time. Orlando happy to play keep away and eat up what's left of the last 2 1/4. It was a less than gracious entry into the head position at Orlando City B for Eddie Wilding. A 3-1 loss on the road to Chattanooga. But promising performances since with 3 consecutive draws. 5 points in the first 4 matches. As this is a deep try for Amir Henry, who can't keep it in play. And if things hold up, this will be Eddie Wilding's first regulation win in his stint as head coach of OCB. Started his tenure in 2018 with UCF in the Orlando region. Has been a coach with the Orlando Academy program since 2023. He was appointed the head man on April the 9th after the complete clean house in the Orlando organization. And he's 1 minute away from his first ever win as a head coach of Orlando City B. Wheel oversteps it. Can't reclaim it. Leao leads it. Belvedere will watch it roll out. This portion of the match is brought to you by Adidas. Another whistle as we have the closing seconds. Orlando will look to carry this momentum into New England. A Revs 2 side that would be just beside them in a very tightly congested Eastern Conference 10 weeks in. And for the first time since March 14th, Orlando City B have won in regulation, the first time in the tenure of Eddie Wilding.
Thanks to you soccer fans for your attendance for this evening's match. We have enjoyed having you here at the Turner Soccer Complex.
A gritty, commanding 2-0 lead when it's all said and done.
Chicago FC United
And a lot of the efforts have came all around the field, but today's man of the match is presented by Adidas, and it is a man who has his name called all over today's game. Harvey Sarajan. He not only draws the penalty that forced the opening PK goal, he had this beautiful feed to get the primary assist on the game winner by Isa Haruna, and led the team with 2 shots on target. That is your man of the match, presented by Adidas. As Harvey Sarajan, formerly of Wake Forest, leads the way for OCB. Don't forget to watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. Thank you so much for joining us. Orlando come into Atlanta, take away 3 points with a win 2-0. For all of us in our entire MLS Next Pro crew, my name is Ryan Lee. Happy Mother's Day. Have a great one. Thank you for joining us.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.